All right, episode 1 of Unqualified Dropouts. First, before we start, if y'all didn't know who we are, my name's Asher, this is Ian. We both dropped out of college, and basically we want to start this podcast to go over the lessons we have learned throughout life from us dropping out of college. And if y'all didn't know, me and Ian both have our own businesses. So, yeah, that's why we decided to start this.
Because we are definitely unqualified in some areas, but taking throughout the whole process of what we learned of starting our own coaching businesses and like pursuing social media full time.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna shoot the shit about like what's real and what's fake on the internet, because there's a lot of fake shit on the internet that a lot of people think are real, which is not. But yeah, so today we wanted to talk about.
What's the topic? Let me pull it out real quick.
We want to talk about, I think it was what we have learned so far.
Yeah. So like our story is, him and Asher and I moved to Texas, Houston, back in September? It was like beginning of September to pursue social media and like coaching full time. And we like quit our jobs, totally dropped everything and really just went all for it. Started on online coaching, started our own brands. I'm Embrace the Journey, He's Better Than Before. Got our LLCs and really just like, pursued our dreams. But what we want to dive into today is what we've learned about not only owning and running a business, but also the fitness industry itself. And what we've learned throughout the whole process of being more involved with it. Because obviously like Alphaland is a huge hotspot for like social media and everything, but I think there's just a lot of, just things that not a lot of people see or understand a lot about the fitness industry, and definitely have learned a lot about people within it, but also running a business and the stresses and the ups and downs of, a lot of things. Yeah.
So first what I wanted to say is for one, Alpha Elite will always be far better than Alphaland, but that's not really what I wanted to talk about. But what I wanted to talk about was when I moved here, I really didn't have the right purpose in mind. And that comes with a lot of people that are on the internet is they search for things like validational things to fit in with the industry. So for example, like sponsorships and codes and followers and shit like that. And for a little bit of a backstory, when I moved to Houston, I had like 1,000 followers on Instagram. I don't know how much, I have like 13,000 now. And when I moved here, I started to see pretty quick success on Instagram especially. So I saw a lot of companies start reaching out to me. And I was happy about it because that's something I always wanted to do, was have a code. And people to support me and use that code. But as it started to happen and unfold, I really started to realize that that's not really why I wanted to start this to begin with. I wanted to grow my name and my brand, and obviously working for someone else, you're not going to do that. You're just growing their brand more. But the reason why I was chasing the code and followers and stuff like that was because I wanted to fit in with the industry so people don't look at me any differently. That's one of the big insecurities I had when I moved here, was like, fuck, I only have 1,000 followers. Like, yeah, I had a good following on TikTok, but like TikTok doesn't really mean shit. But like I had a small following and I'm like, fuck, like, I want to go up and talk to these guys that have lots of followers to learn from them, but I don't want them to look at me and be like, oh, well, dude, you don't even have a sponsorship. What are you doing?
Yeah, and I think just to tie in with that like follower just basis, like a lot of people will judge you or based off the amount of followers you have. And I think at first when I got here, I'm like, oh, I just need to get 10K. Like if I get 10K, like that'll make me like happy. But what I've come to realize, it's just a number. And realistically, a lot of people, they think getting into the fitness industry or growing their own like social media platform, they're going to be like, oh, like I need to hit this milestone, I need to work with this company, I need to get with, Young LA, or I need to sign with a great sponsorship, get free supplements, because that's going to make me look, successful, right? And a lot of people think that is going to be like defines their success is whether they've gotten a sponsorship or they have a code or they have a certain amount of followers and they had a video blow up and go viral. And I found that like a lot of people just in the industry are just like so consumed by the numbers that when you really look at them as a character, there's nothing else defining them besides the amount of followers they have and the code that ties it to another brand.
Yeah.
And at first I thought me moving out here, getting a code or getting a supplement sponsorship or a clothing sponsorship, and it would like show people that I either old friends or people from like my hometown or whatever it may be that I'm like becoming very successful because of that. But it's really not the case. And I've learned like as I've had like brand deals and been able to work with some great companies, it's really not like the purpose, because once you get it, there's like nothing else. Now you have nothing else to strive for. And like you don't have any other impact. Like that's it. That's your impact. You got a code, people use it, and people think you look great online. And it's like, okay, isn't there more to like your success?
Yeah.
I think impact's a big thing. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people
Dude, that's so big, and I see this so much, and nothing irritates me more is when people are like, keep on going because like, look at like, just wait for the day until you see the hater's face when you make it. And it's like, dude, if you are chasing something magnificent in life and you're looking to like basically prove your haters wrong, why the fuck are you doing that in the first place? Because the reason why you chase something is because you want to do it, not because someone said you couldn't. Yeah, you can use it as fuel and this and that. I'm not saying that, but to do it for that specific purpose, that is completely backwards.
Yeah, I think impact is just like a really big thing. And something that's like opened my eyes is like not tying my success to numbers. It's just tying my success to who can I impact and what do I want to build for myself so I can have longevity in life and I can live this life that I always dreamed of. And that's like helping people, you know, being a coach. I love being a coach, right? The reason why I love it is because I've been able to impact so many people's life who come through my program, over 100 people plus, where it's like, I've had people tell me they've just changed their life completely. Their habits, they were just going down dark paths with drugs and alcohol, and they were able to like find fitness to be able to bridge that to a newer life and a newer standard. And that was like the coolest thing, is just like doing that. And the monetary side, I think a lot of people get so consumed with money, and I think money is a great resource to have, and it definitely can provide some type of happiness, like we were talking about today in the car. Yeah. But I think also some people use it as the only measurement of success in their life, and that's not true. And that's like something that I've learned since moving to Houston. When I came here, I'm like, I have to be making $10,000, $20,000 a month. I have to be like driving a nice sports car. I have to be, you know, wearing the nicest clothes. I need to fit in. But shit, I like my Mazda, my 2009 Mazda beater. Like it's kind of like cool because the brand I'm building, and I know I will be built like in the year from now, 2 years from now. I can't wait for that, because it's like I know I'm not giving up. Like that's just like the big thing. It's like I'm not giving up, and I just from what I've been able to see for the growth wise since I started back in July till now, it's like holy crap. What if I just put in one more year of just straight up growth? And growing your own brand and your name is the most powerful thing you can do. Yeah, literally.
So one thing I wanted to touch on was, and I think this is another big thing too, kind of on like the validation purposes, is like, so one, I just wanted to say Snapchat is probably one of probably the worst app ever created, if I have to say. One, because it was made when we were all in high school, so it's just a bunch of high school friends. And if you go on there and just look at your stories, all of it, if you actually look what people have posted, it's all about validation. That's all it is. And I think it is one of the worst apps to be made, because that's when like stories started to happen. And if you look on there, just take a look on your Snapchat right now and just scroll through it a little bit. Literally all you're going to see is either people traveling the country, or, you know, them at the club, or them partying, something like that. And like, the only reason why they're posting that is because they want to be seen or shown as like doing something with their life, right?
Yeah.
So me personally, I use Snapchat for my coaching business, and that's about it. I don't post on my story on there ever. And it's crazy how that works, because if you are trying to grow a business that doesn't really involve like you having to be on Snapchat, like group chat wise on Snapchat, I would just delete that app completely, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
I think validation is a big part of like why people post, for sure. I think that's the only reason why it keeps a lot of people into social media, is because they see growth and they know if they stop, a lot of people that follow them are gonna be like, oh, where did Ian go? Where did Asher go? I think Snapchat can be great to stay in touch with a lot of people, and like you can explore, because I do believe too, like social media is a great way to get outside a bit. Like, I don't know, we're very business minded, so all we think of it, okay, what's our next leverage, what's our next growth, where can we produce more content? So for us, it's like a stepping stone in our business, where a lot of people, they use it to just use it for social proof in a sense, which can be healthy as well, based off of like staying in touch with a lot of friends from across the world. You're able to stay in touch with a lot of your best friends that maybe you moved away from your hometown and you don't know what they're doing, but you're able to at least stay connected with them some type of way. I think there's a point where it is like, it can become very, consuming, and can cause a lot of mental problems with like the validation part, and like understanding that every post doesn't have to be validated by people. You don't have to feel like you have to post things because like you need some type of like or comment or follow or something like that, or swipe up on a story. So,
dude, I actually saw, you probably saw this too. So Tate posted something, and he was like, most of the people that are depressed are from people that scroll social media the most. And it's true, because like when people post on social media, like even we're like this, we're not going to post about us, fucking crying or like broke if we ever go dead broke. Like, we're not going to post about that shit. We only post the best of the best.
Yeah.
Right? Or like we talk about lessons we've learned. Right? So if a guy is, and Tate talks about this, I agree with some parts of it. But he was like, if someone's very, very depressed, it's mostly because they're consuming social media a lot. And the reason why they're depressed is because they see the best of the best, they're not doing anything with their life. So he said, if you're scrolling on social media and then I come up on your page, you see me and my fucking Bugatti, well, obviously you're going to feel like shit because you're not doing anything with your life because you're scrolling social media.
It's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I agree with some parts of it. Tate's a little extreme, but
dude, he says the funniest stuff. He's like, the vaping, He's like, have you ever seen somebody like vapes? He goes and grabs, like, hold on, let me get my vape. He's like, he's like, fucking breathe oxygen.
Yeah.
Breathe air.
Breathe air. It's free.
No, I think that because like, I mean, we should probably like circle back to like this whole topic is like the lessons we've learned since moving from Houston.
Yeah, we got off topic.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen, but I think a lesson we've learned is how consuming social media can be. But a lot of people, they only post the best of the best, and I think some of the most down to earth, but also people that are struggling a lot mentally that I've ever met are people on social media. Shoot, I've been in rough times, even though it may not seem like it. Like we like you said, we always post what's like the highlight of our day and like what's the happiest moment we can be, because we're not going to hop on there and complain about everything. Yeah. Because that's like super deep. But I think a lot of like mental health can come from like relying on social media. I don't know. No, I think something we've learned is just like how consuming social media can be, but also how beneficial it can be too. Yeah. And like you got to be careful with it. I think social media is like, it's like a double-edged sword, honestly. Like if you don't control it, it can kill you, but it also can make you become so much stronger. Yeah, so the biggest lesson I learned was in December, kind of like what you said. So December was probably like one of the worst months ever. I kind of, what I was talking about first, like I was kind of like chasing a code, all this shit. So December, I kind of like really relapsed on like what my purpose actually is. I saw success in my business. I really liked my business, but like I thought I was coming here to be a like influencer with the code, but I didn't like it. So I was kind of just like confused.
I don't know. So one of the biggest like lessons I've learned, I don't know how to phrase it.
Dude, mine's just like building your own, like doing you.
Yeah,
like, be yourself. And this is so, like, everybody says this, it's so cliche. Like, you ask anybody on social media, like, what should I do? What should I post? It's like, just be yourself. Yeah, you hear this all the time. But, like, I'm, like, dead serious. Can't say this hard. Like, be yourself and build your brand.
Yeah.
Don't be yourself and hope to get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Be yourself and build who you are. And you're going to have haters. And honestly, when I get haters in my, dude, TikTok ruthless. When I get haters on my comments, I love it. Like, I actually do. Because I'm like, yes, like, my video's doing well because I have some type of disagreement, right? You causes a disruption into the world of you're challenging other people's beliefs. Yeah. And to me, that's like that's what influencers are. You're supposed to portray your thoughts and your opinions and influence other people, and you can do it in very great ways or very negative ways, but you're challenging somebody else's belief, and when you do that, it causes a lot of haters. But if you're doing that and you're an influencer, you're doing the right thing. Because it's something you believe, and if you're able to do that, like that's a lot of power right there in itself. And I think a lot of people fear away from haters and people looking down on them, but you should honestly be like, yes, I'm doing something right because you're challenging beliefs.
Yeah.
And I think something that I learned was like a lot of people here, they are scared to challenge other people's beliefs. And like, I don't know, it's just you find out who the real people are when you're around them. And a lot of influencers are just normal people. Yeah. Like we've met a bunch of influencers who have been very great and kind to us and have said some like the realest things ever. And
we've met a lot of ugly ones too.
Yeah.
That perceive themselves. I mean, obviously we're not
going to. I want to call it Harry Liggett and Dorian.
Yeah.
The first
Harry and Dorian, if you're watching this, y'all are the real OGs. They came up to us at Alpha Elite. And
like welcomed us, like we just moved to Houston, they followed us, like, hey, we just want to say what's up, and then they gave us some wise words. Yeah. Like they just said some of the realest things to us about, social media and everything. Yeah. And
basically they were just like, watch your back, because like it's easy to get taken advantage of.
Yeah. They're like, know your worth and know who to trust, and you'll figure that out. They'll just be like, be mindful and be smart. Yeah. And that was like engraved into my brain. Yeah. No, definitely.
They're really busy now, but yeah, Harry and Dorian, they were the real ones that came up to us. They're doing big things. But yeah, so my thing is kind of the same with yours. Like biggest lesson, because in December, I really wasn't chasing my purpose, I'll be honest. And I wasn't really being the real me in a way that the way I was seeing my business grow was not in a way that I actually enjoyed. I got really, really caught up in the numbers. So I'll give you all a little bit of reference. So when it comes to my coaching, I go off applications being submitted, right? So obviously for me, that has to come with the output that I put out on videos. So what I would do is I would post like 10 to 15 videos on TikTok on my main every single day. Then my business is called Better Than Before. I would have my Better Than Before page as well, and I would post like 6 to 8 TikToks on there. So it'd be like almost 20 videos a day.
Which is a lot.
Which is a lot, yeah. A lot of videos. But the thing is on my Better Than Before page, I was not caring about the quality and really what I was saying, because I've been on TikTok for so long, you kind of just realize what videos are going to get views, and that's all I cared about, was pumping out views so I can get applications so I can, hope to grow my business, right? And when I found that that's what I was doing, I really took a step back and really like gathered myself and was like, this is obviously like not what I stand for. Obviously, I'm taking another route when it comes to posting now. But that was definitely probably the biggest thing I learned was like just being true to myself and not trying to just get too focused on the numbers, because it's very, very consuming.
No, I think, and then we get like if we didn't post enough, or we didn't we didn't hit what we wanted to, or we didn't hit sales goals, we didn't hit client goals, we didn't hit the amount of content we got, photo, like all these like goals we set, like that were just so time, like we were on our phones like 12 to 15 hours a day. I'm telling you, it was unhealthy. Like social media became very unhealthy, and I think it put both of us in a very depressive state. And what we learned is that I also just feel like our quality wasn't there, and like who we were as a person. I think we were just like, okay, what's a quick tip? Like what's this? Like we know these things, but it's not like our characteristics or our like a reflection of us on the social media platform. It's just like, okay, what can we say to hook somebody in to get them to sign for our coaching? Yeah. And it's like hard. It kind of sucks to say that about us, as like we weren't being true to ourselves. Like I think a part of us we were. Yeah. But we got so caught up in the quick.
We wanted to see it fast. That's the thing.
We saw very quick. I mean, for coaching, like we've seen success very quickly. Yeah. We're definitely fortunate with that. I think we definitely, put in the work, and not to like pat my own back, but I think we've put in substantial amounts of work. Yeah. To achieve that success. But we were like, okay, we hit our sales goal, and we're like, that's not enough, we need more. Yeah. And we became very like greedy. I became very greedy because I just felt like I was a failure if I didn't make more and more and more and more, and I see decrease. I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And I just judged who I was as a person based off of the amount of money I made that month. Yeah. It gets to you. I think that's the one thing, is that I was fortunate enough to see very quick success. Like I made more coaching in the short frame last year than I made my whole salary at one of my jobs. Like I was like, oh my God, I could, this is gonna be cake. And I didn't see the true value, and I didn't see, my vision was money. My vision wasn't what I wanted to build. And now I've changed that. And now it's like, what do I want to build, and not the money. And the money is a resource I'm going to use to create a better experience in my coaching my program, into my brand itself, Embrace the Journey, into the company. I'm going to now use that money as a resource to do better things, impact more people. And I'm just now, like honestly, I'm just now kind of getting to that point. I'm like, okay, like all my resources going there to grow and see myself in 5 years and see what Embrace the Journey has come. Like how many retreats are we going to have? Like, are we going to be able to fly people out and have, a couple clients come and hang out with us? Are we going to be able to do any type of, event that we want, because now we have the resources to, because of the brand itself? And that's the impact, is the brand, and not anything else, honestly. Yeah. Like money isn't an impact. Yeah, because that kind of goes on the very first point we made about like kind of coming in with like not fitting in, right? But like everyone who trains at Alpha Land that is like a quote unquote influencer, most of them do very well for themselves. So it almost feels like I had to prove to them that I was making money as well, almost. Yeah. So that's why I kind of like tied it to money. But then I was like, why would I care about how much that guy thinks I make when I don't even talk to him, nor do we like even follow each other on social media, nor are we ever going to hang out. So it's weird, because now it's just completely changed. It's completely changed from like money to, and this is something I always say. I'll be writing a book when I turn 30, actually. I always say, like, what if it turns out bigger than you can imagine? I think Russ said that. Yeah. And because he was being interviewed, and it was like what's the best advice, or what's the worst advice you ever heard? And it was like, be realistic. And then what's the best advice you ever heard? And it was like, what if it turns out bigger than you could imagine? So, and then when he said that, I heard that when I was actually still in college. And when I heard that, and then I heard like a bunch of like Gary Vee talking, I was like, damn, bro, like, what if it does actually turn out like bigger and better than I actually think about? Yeah. Battery. Yeah. So we're back. We had Adrian, Brock, and Jack? What? Sean. Why did I think Jack? I'm sorry, Sean, if you're watching this. They came over, and they were just hanging out. So
We got interrupted. Unfortunately.
We had such a good topic going, but it's all right. We can circle back to it. I mean, we can go back to just like the whole purpose of this, like talking about what we've learned since being here, and talk about like greed and how you feel like you have to become this person you're not, in a sense, or like live up to other people's standards here, because a lot of people here can make a lot of money. They all drive like Lamborghinis, nice BMWs, brand new cars, and they go out and they buy tables at the clubs, and I think those are all fun things to have and everything, but it's a big status thing, I've realized, and that's not what I'm going for. I'm going for a legacy, or like, what is somebody gonna know me as after a year from now, or like what am I gonna be remembrance? And I know that, again, that's like kind of cliche to say, because everybody, any entrepreneur or anybody has big dreams, like, oh, well, you got to make sure you have the right purpose and all that. But seriously though, like, I want to have one of the best coaching services out there that I've impacted hundreds of lives. Like, that's it, thousands of lives. And if I can do that, to me that's so worth a lot of different things. I don't know. It's like worth so much more than the amount of money I can even bring in from it.
Yeah.
So I think what I was kind of based off of, like, money is a resource. It's a resource, and when you view it as a resource, to bring it in and utilize it to impact more people, or to grow a brand, or to grow who you are as a person, and not, okay, this money that you have is going to make you happy because you can afford a car now, or you can afford a house. I think that is like more powerful than just having money and having gold chains.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so the last thing I left on was the quote by Russ that said, what if it turns out bigger or better than you can imagine? I forgot what it was. I think it's better. But anyways, the reason why I say that is because another lesson that I've really learned is taking risk is a very, very good thing. And I say that because obviously there are different types of risk. Like jumping off a bridge from 75 feet in the air hoping to live, that's a stupid risk because you're going to die, right?
Yeah.
That's a stupid risk. So like there's a big difference, but I'm saying like risking time to chase something that you're wanting to achieve, that's a risk that's willing to take, because one, I'm a firm believer in not living in regret. And this is actually one thing I talk to a lot of people about when people are trying to give me objections for my coaching.
Sorry, go ahead.
Is I ask them, if you, like, for instance, say someone's trying to lose weight and they talk to me and they're like, yeah, I really want to do this. And then, we get to the pricing, everything like that. And then they're like, okay, the pricing's not that bad, but I still need to think about it, blah, blah, blah. All these stupid objections. All right. But what I say a lot of times is I ask them, when you're about to die, would you have rather lost this weight and gone through this journey and know that you've perfected yourself, or would you have not cared? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, I wish I would have done that, right?
Yeah.
So like that, I'm a firm believer in like not living in regret, or not living in regret.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people need to think about it, because like right now, our perception of time, we're like, oh, we could just do it tomorrow, or we can do it in a month from now. I'll try it by myself because I have time. But in all reality, like, you don't know when the last day is. You don't know what's gonna be in front of you tomorrow. You don't know what challenges you're gonna have to overcome. And so I think the reason why a lot of people don't commit to making a change, whether it be pursuing their dream, quitting their job, starting with coaching, something they know they need to do, and that's because they think they have more time to then like figure out themselves, or more time to make the decision. Mm-hmm. But in all reality, like, we don't know how much time we have left. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what if we lose our legs? And you're in a car crash that's going to disable you. You don't know. And especially 3 months from now. And it's just like, why would you want to wait to hope for something to happen or change, even though it obviously hasn't changed in the past, then just take a risk of time and a little bit of resources that eventually you're going to make back. You're going to spend that money no matter what. You're going to spend time, money, whatever it may be. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Well, no, it wasn't because of you. It was because Hal opened his door.
Yes.
I forgot what I was going to say. Fuck.
Time.
No, it was...
Taking a risk.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's
freaking G.
This is the thing, and this is anything that comes in life. Like Ian just said, losing weight, chasing your dreams, dropping out of school, whatever it is. If you verbally say, I want to do this, your decision's been made. That's it. Like, there's no, like, I want to do this, but no, there's no buts. Like, if you want to do something, the decision's already been made. You just have to put in the effort and time to do it.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing of, like, I want to do this, but I have to wait, because that's usually what it is, but I have to wait. You have no fucking idea what's going to happen, right? So that's a big thing with me is, like, I have to make a decision, or I have to see what decision I want to make. If you want to do something, the decision's already been made. That's how it is.
Yeah, like you already know you want it bad enough. You just, and I actually was talking to one of my past clients, and you know, sometimes people fall off on, you know, they go back to their old ways or whatever, and he wants to get back to like getting in shape, getting healthy again. And he's like, I just know I have some bad habits, and I'm like, the decision, what you have to do after you make the decision of losing weight or quitting your job and going all in on your business or studying, whatever it may be, whatever comes after you make that decision, that's the easy part. And what happens is prior to making that decision, you have so much pressure because you're trying to go down two different paths right now of, I can stay here because I'm comfortable, or I know I can do this, but I don't know if I want to go all in. And you're like trying to stay on the fence. Like you're like trying to jump down both sides, but you obviously can't because you're on a fence. Like, you're trying to go down two paths that you can't go down. Yeah. And so all that pressure of trying to make that decision and you just pushing back another day, it's just gonna build up until you look in the mirror and the pain you're feeling right now has to far outweigh the pain it takes to make a new lifestyle change. That's it. Yeah. Once you look at yourself like, wow, I'm in a lot of pain, I'm depressed, I hate where I'm at, and you realize, okay, I need to make this change no matter what, like you cannot push it back another day or it's just going to be unbearable. That's when you will make the decision. After that, it's the easiest thing you've ever done. Like, it's just going to all go away because you're like, oh, I do it. Now I'm just taking one step in front of the other. And I think it's something that like I've learned since moving here is, yeah, taking risks, like just doing it. Like, stop talking about it and just taking that risk. Like, I was competing in a bodybuilding show, and how I kickstarted my online coaching was I posted, I worked at Chick-fil-A throughout my whole bodybuilding prep. A week out from the show, right before peak week, I actually quit my job because I was just like, I was tired of working. I just couldn't, I mean, I was in prep, so I was like, mentally I was unstable, but that's not the case. Like, dude, I would cry randomly. It was horrible. But I'm actually very thankful from the prep because it taught me my limits, and it put me in such a careless form, I guess, or kind of the best way to explain, or just like the way I felt, I was making very blunt decisions, not caring about anything else in the world. So when I had no care about the repercussions or whatever else would happen in the world, like I literally gave no fucks about anything, that's when I made true decisions of like what I really wanted to do. And it brought me, kind of like I said, like making that decision, like all that pain and suffering like you suffered like right before making that decision, that's what prep brought me. It was like, I couldn't bear it another day. Like one more day, I honestly, like I woke up, I remember I quit, last day was Saturday, and I woke up that Monday on peak week. I woke up so relieved not having to go into work and I could really start living my career that I took this big leap. I just wish I did it sooner. Like that was it. Like I was like, holy crap. Like I woke up so happy, and mind you, I was depleted. I hated my life. Like it was horrible. I actually woke up that morning crying. I went to the beach at 5 a.m., got like 3 hours of sleep. It was horrible. It was on 0 carbs. It was not fun. But I think for me, that was a huge kickstart in my journey now, because I was able to learn that I just need to take a risk. I did it. I had no job, no income. I went from Chick-fil-A, making decent, like I was happy, I was comfortable, I had benefits, like I was making good money for my age and with no degree especially. I was like $22 an hour, couldn't complain about that. And I went to like nothing, no clients, no social media I was still trying to figure out. And I just took that leap and I just did it. And I would go to bigger cities and visit friends or go down to Miami or whatever, and I would Uber Eats to make enough money to pay for my bills. Like once I made my money for the month for the bills and my groceries, I would just focus full time on social media and growing it. And I think because I was able to do that, the amount of, like, I had so much pressure on me, which I think pressure is privilege, which that is, who says
C-bums.
that? C-bums, yeah. It's true. Like, the more pressure you put on yourself, the better you're going to perform.
Yeah.
And that just, like, kickstarted me because I was, like, putting in so much more work because I knew I had to make money or I was going to have to go back to a job that I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Or I was going to have to find another way. And so I did Uber Eats because it was flexible. And it allowed me to push past those limits. And within a month, sold my first client, and then it started escalating. And I, was able to come up with a brand name and start building from there. And I've learned so much because I saw a huge influx. I've seen a huge decrease. Like, it's crazy. Entrepreneur is crazy. But I think something I learned was just just take the risk. Like, shoot, you and I still, we're like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we're like, sometimes it's like goes on months, like, dude, are we gonna be able to afford another month? Like, honestly.
Yeah, that brings me to my next point is you were like saying about pressure. Like, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves every month.
Yeah.
Like, every month. But that was one thing. The next thing I wanted to say was the two-way street thing. I'm glad you said that because that was actually another point I wanted to touch on. Also, this just isn't debatable. And if you debate me on this, you're just going to lose. So I'm being so serious. So when it comes to two-way streets, what Ian was talking about is, what he was trying to say is you can't choose two paths. You can't. You literally can't. You can't be a doctor and then you can't be a fucking business owner. You can't. Like, and if you think you can, you're going to half-ass one thing. That's just how it is. Yeah. So for me, a big thing in college was I would sacrifice my weekends and also like one day in the week to hang out with people I didn't really want to hang out with, but I just wanted to fit in. So I would sacrifice that and also I would sacrifice my time to hang out with them and still be okay with them and have friends, fucking losers. That's another topic. But anyways, but then I wouldn't actually, on the other path, what I actually wanted to do was what I'm doing now. And so I was half-assing both things. So then once I realized that I needed to cut off that one entire path and stick on the one path I truly wanted to do, that's when the growth goes from like this, which is barely inclining whatsoever, to this, which is a steep incline because you buy back your time to pursue what you actually want to do. Took me 3.5 years of college to fucking notice that. But since then, literally like today, like we literally talked about doing this podcast 2 days ago and we were like, fuck it, we're writing it down, let's do it. Boom, we started doing it. We made a decision because we both said we want to do this. And that was it. Yeah. That was it. We no time to wait. Yeah. Like, that was it.
There's no, like, we don't have a setup or whatever. Like, we're probably half-assing it. But it's like, just start. You're going to learn. And I think too many people are trying to be perfect when they start. Mm-hmm. If you try to be perfect, you're never going to start. I learned that with my coaching business. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I tried to be perfect. Dude, I didn't know how to maintain clients or create a community. I'm still learning. And honestly, like, people in my program, like, I'm still doing, honestly, my best. I'm trying to provide a very high-quality experience. And I'm still learning as a business owner to create the best coaching program that's going to not only just bring you, results, but also an impact, right? And how am I going to do that? I'm still learning. But I think that's the beauty of when you fully commit to that one path and your dream is you're not going to be perfect, and that's all right. And I think people try to be too perfect or want everything to, all the stars to align and everything to be like perfect and like, oh, then I'll dive in onto it. And it's like, no, like, why would you do that? Because once it gets a little off-centered or something shakes the boat, like, you're just going to fall, like, you're going to fall off. You're not going to be able to continue. And that's the same with weight loss. Like, people are like, it's not the right time. And that's like, that right there is, if it's not a money issue at all, but it's like not the right time, that's my worst, I don't like hearing it anymore. I've heard it throughout my whole life. Just growing up. And it's just a very common thing to say. Like people are like, I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
It's just an excuse to push it back for another day because you don't want to deal with it right now.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And it just makes it easy because you know you can push it back. Like, yeah, it's whatever. Like, I'll just push it back another day. I'll do it tomorrow. And not having the right time, it's like there's never going to be a right time, because if there wasn't a right time in the past 18, 20 years or whatever, however long you've been alive for, is there ever going to be a right time in the future? You don't know. Like, we can't predict the future. So it's like not being the right time. It's like if you just learn how to just roll with the punches and make it the right time and just learn how to adapt, when it gets tough, it's okay. You still are following the path. You're still okay. You'll get through it. And when it's easy, you're having the best moment of your life because, like, man, I can, like, this is sick. Like, I already, like, this is easy. I just a cakewalk. So, I don't know. I think that's, like, one of my biggest objections. But something we've learned is just, like, just taking action. Just doing it. Like, just start a podcast. Yesterday we talked about it, actually.
Oh, was it yesterday?
Yeah. We were like, because then this morning you're like, we're still doing the podcast. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so we're
right.
just like, fuck it. I mean, just hop on it, right?
Yeah. Is it perfect? No. Do we care? Also, no.
We're going to learn.
Yeah.
And that's the whole process.
Literally, I wanted to drop merch for my business. Bought license plates. The fucking logo is this big. It's so small. I'm like, fuck. I dropped $200 on this shit.
Shoot. I mean, okay,
and I learned from it. I got to make it bigger now.
I had a clothing company business. I tried it. Dude, I spent $3,000 on it.
Jeez.
I made back maybe $1,500, honestly.
Yeah.
But I spent $3,000 on it. I still have a shit ton of clothes. If you guys want something, hit me up. I'll sell it for dirt cheap, and I'll pay for shipping. But that's where Embrace the Journey came from, actually. So, like, I'm very fortunate. I think that's where I am happy about the clothing company. But I just did it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. And yeah, did I have to put a lot of money up front? Was I maybe not the most... I should have probably done more research. I knew how to set one up, but I really didn't get the grasp of social media and promoting an item yet. So I needed more in that sense of marketing, but it failed. I mean, completely failed. But I learned from it. Like, I know how hard it is to grow a business. I realize the work it takes to grow a business now. And so next time I start releasing merch, like, it's going to be so much easier. I'm like, I got to learn from it. And now I just know what to do. It's easy. It's just marketing and creating a community of people. And I think if I wouldn't have done that, I probably wouldn't really have the mindset I do now, just because I learned from it and I was able to just do something. Even though it wasn't the right decision, I still learned from it and I'm doing it. And that's the big thing, is just freaking do. Like, I know it's we keep saying that, but
yeah. Actions speak louder than words. It's such like a cliche saying, but like, dude, honestly, when someone tells me they're gonna do something, I don't know about you, I always tune it out.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I'm just
as of recently, the past like 3 months, I'm like, yeah, dude, go for it. Yeah, fucking do it. But like, I'm gonna be honest, like,
once I see it and you start doing it, I'm like, yeah, I'm like,
yeah, you're in it. But like, you just talking about it, dude, you're not in it. You're in it until you actually start, and you're starting to see problems, and you're starting to solve the problems. That's when you're in it. You're not in it when you're talking about it, because you actually don't know anything when you're talking about it.
No offense to anybody, like, we can say this, like, I used to be there where I talked so much about what I want to do.
Oh, dude, so much.
Like, I want to be this, or I want to be a millionaire. Okay, what are you going to do to be a millionaire?
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to create a product. I'm going to create a t-shirt company. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how are you going to do that? When are you going to do that? What's your first logo? Who are you going to manufacture from? How are you going to promote it? Are you going to get athletes? Are you going to just do self-promoting yourself? Are you going to create accounts? Like, are you going to have people help you? Are you going to like, what are you going to build? Like, where are you going to build from it? Like, you got to have the steps to become a millionaire, because like, everybody just say they'd be a millionaire or they want to be a millionaire, but it's like, if you say I am going to be a millionaire, you're like, because I'm going to do this and I'm never going to stop until I'm fucking a millionaire. Not fucking a millionaire, but I am a fucking millionaire.
Yeah.
But once you say that, like, once you change like your words and just say, I'm going to do it and I'm not going to quit, and that's when you'll be a millionaire. And that's my mindset shift. My mindset has shifted ever since moving here too, of like, I'm not quitting Embrace the Journey no matter if I have a horrible month. Shit. I have had horrible months where Didn't even know if I was gonna be able to make it on my bill. I mean, I knew I was gonna make it on my bills, but it was like going to the next month, like shit.
There were a couple times where I thought I was gonna have to help out Ian. There were a couple times I thought I was gonna have to ask Ian to help me out.
Yeah.
That's how it got.
Yeah.
And
it was just
until
like,
you get to that point, like you learn a lot from that shit. When you're like, I may have to ask my roommate to help me buy groceries type shit.
yeah. And I think our mindset was like I'm not quitting.
Yeah.
Fucking like Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, we're not gonna fucking quit. Like, you're not gonna quit.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not gonna quit. Like, if you tell yourself I'm not quitting until I see success, perfect.
Yeah.
And I forgot who said this, and this was like the realest quote.
It's the quote. Yeah, it's the quote where it's like,
you can quit. It's like, don't quit when shit gets hard. Like, you're not allowed to quit when you fail. When you're on your highest peak and you are having the best month of your life, then you can tell yourself if you want to quit or not. If you're making that 100K month, if you're having a fucking, beautiful apartment, or you have a nice car, a great wife, family, like amazing business, and everything is going perfect, then you can ask yourself, okay, do I want to quit this or not? When you're on your highest high. Okay. And that was like the realest. That's what actually the one quote. And I think a lot of people need to really truly listen to quotes and dive into them and not just say them.
Really important.
People just say them.
Really
like, we all know these famous quotes. Fucking Nike, just do it. Like, yeah. But like, really listen to it. And like that one, when I had my lowest my months where I was like I was terrified. And I was like, I'm not quitting. Like, I'm not quitting. And that one, I just kept telling myself that, like, I'm not going to quit. Because what would I do after? Like, who would I be? Like, I came out to Houston and I tried something and
what are you gonna
quit.
What are you gonna do? Be a failure?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be a failure? Is that what you're gonna be? Yeah, I tried it.
Yeah,
There's no trying.
Yeah.
That's the thing. There's no trying in this.
I quit because it got hard. Like, I quit because it got hard. Are you kidding
then
me?
like the whole, like, embrace the journey. Well, then that's a flaw.
Yeah.
Embrace the journey. Like, then you're not standing for your own logo.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think that's the power of like having a brand for yourself. It's
100%.
like, that's who you are now as a person.
Yeah.
And I'm going to always embrace the journey, no matter if it gets fucking sucky as shit, and if it's the best of the best. I'm not here to just see growth and going up. That's pointless. That makes life so dull, honestly. Like, if you only see up, everything you're at right now is just going to be so dry. There's going to be no like life to it. You're not going to appreciate what you have.
Exactly.
Because you're just expecting, okay, I got to keep going up. I got to go up. And I think that's something we saw in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like we just saw skyrocket.
Every
like,
single
boom.
week, it was something where it was like boom, 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 boom. And then we fucking dip like this and we're like, damn, I am fucking sad.
Yeah. But now it's like, if I have a bad month, like,
but yeah,
I want to make sure I can pay payroll. I want to make sure I can pay my bills. But after that, it's impact.
Yeah.
All the extra income, I mean, yeah, I need to build a life for myself and, wealth in the future, but besides that, impact. Like, it's all impact and what I want to do and like take the brand to the next level. And that's why it's like super important to me. And I don't know, I just think it's just something that a lot of people need to kind of get in their head, and something I wish I got in my head a lot sooner was just taking that leap and telling you, like, you're not quitting until you see success. And then when you see success is when you can decide if you want to quit and go down a different route. Besides that, no. Like, you can't. If you give yourself the option to quit if it gets hard, you already failed before you even started.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about, because it's probably getting pretty long.
Yeah.
We need to put a timer on it. But last thing, because this is the first Potter, I wanted to talk about where we branded ourselves from, like Better Than Before, Embrace the Journey. It shouldn't take long.
Yeah.
My story's not that long. But yeah, so if y'all didn't know, me and Ian, we run 6-figure coaching businesses. I'm Better Than Before, he's Embrace the Journey. So anyway, Better Than Before, how it originated, it's actually pretty weird. So one of my clients, his name's Josh, fucking awesome, lost over 100 pounds. I talked to him when he was 50 pounds down, 60 pounds down. And this is just when I moved to Houston. I didn't have a brand before I moved to Houston because I was like, I wanted to chase followers, fame, all that shit. So when I got here, I saw he was like 60 pounds down or 50 pounds, whatever it was. Called him on the phone. I'm like, dude, holy shit, like you're fucking crushing it. And he was like, yeah, dude, like I'm so much better off now than who I was before in everything, like in my habits and confidence and socializing, like everything. And when he was like, I'm so much better off now than who I was before, I remember calling my mentor. I think he was here. I think Will was here. And I went up to him and I'm like, dude, what if, because he was right by the stairs, and I was like, dude, what if I called it better than before? And he was like, whoa, that's fucking awesome. But that's how it originated for me. It wasn't as like I came up with it. One of my clients actually brought it to me. And then I was like, I mean, that's where it gets real.
Yeah.
When one of your clients says that shit.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Yeah, no, I think that's really cool. And
yeah.
It is cool where you kind of get those branding. And for me, embrace the journey. I remember I was working at Chick-fil-A, and I wanted to start the clothing company. Like, this is how it drives off of the clothing company. I was just thinking of names. I wanted to make some type of clothing company, have some type of impact about journey, or just something along those lines that life can get tough and life can get easy, so everybody can relate to it, because I want it to be more than just fitness too. And I came up with so many different names. I can't remember them, but I would say them like every single day. And I remember, I kind of spun it off of Embrace the Suck. I just saw that, and I liked the word embrace. I just thought it was such a powerful word. So when I saw that, I'm like, man, I really want to incorporate that. Obviously, I don't want it to be like cliche and like copying off somebody else, but I really like the word embrace. And I remember I was like, I just want to talk about some type of journey or something like that. And somebody told me like, yo, you should like think about like, what about Odyssey? We're talking about an Odyssey, because an Odyssey is a long journey that has ups and downs, and you eventually reach it to like your destination. And it brought back to, I forgot who it was, but they referred it to Odysseus, which the Odyssey is a book. And back in, I don't even know, freaking Aristotle times or something like that. And he talks about Odysseus, who went through a bunch of trials and tribulations where he thought he was okay, and then he would, have this horrible scene happen to him. But by the end of the book, he eventually reached to, I think it was his son he was getting to. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, Odyssey, I love that. Like, I think that's such a great and powerful word. And then I was thinking of a slogan. I know I'm kind of like rambling, but I was thinking of a slogan like, oh, embrace the journey. I kind of like that. And I said it every single day. And I was like saying it, telling my family about it. I said it for about like 2 to 3 months. It was like 2 or 3 months before I moved out here. And it just stuck. Like my brother, everybody, my family, like was like, I think that's the saying. It's like embrace the journey. Yeah. And it refers back to the Odyssey. I actually bought the book.
Oh, yeah.
And read about a quarter of it. That shit, I'm not even kidding. Dude, it's so much.
Yeah.
Like it's huge. And the words are like tiny as shit.
Yeah.
But it all refers, somebody was giving me some, tips. But then also I got reminded of like the Odyssey, and then I read the book. And I really liked the whole journey aspect, and I love the word embrace. So I threw that together, and I was like, oh, damn, I think this is it. And I started saying it. And I started hashtagging it on all my posts and talking about it. And people on social media would like hashtag embrace the journey. Like Wyatt has done that. And then like other people before I even like got an LLC for it. And it just started like stick. And then people started referring to me and my coaches like embrace the journey. Like that's it. And so it stuck, and I went forward with that. But I think it just speaks a lot of volumes about every part of your journey, every aspect, that you're going to either learn from it, or you're going to enjoy it and appreciate it. So you learn from it, or what am I trying to say? I don't even know. Yeah, I just totally blanked there.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. Well, our camera decided to shit the bed. So that's going to be the end to episode 1 of Unqualified Dropouts. So we're going to be uploading every single Sunday. So if y'all have like any topics y'all want us to talk about, we're not very knowledgeable on a lot of things. But shoot us a DM. Our socials are down below. But hope y'all enjoyed episode 1. Ian.
Hopefully our camera doesn't shit the bed next time. We had some technical difficulties, but episode 1, that's expected. So
yeah.
Episode 2 will be even better.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next Sunday.